So this is part 2. I've put my penny here and my penny here. Got 2 pennies, 2 pennies, and I'm just filling it in. Now, a hexagon has 6, or supposed to have 6 equal sides, and that's probably not going to happen when you make a penny rug in that pattern. It's because it's just so many little pieces that you put together. It's very difficult to have all of those in exact measurements. Just as long as you have the shape, that's fine. So now I'm going to finish up, and then I want to show you what not to do that I did. Even the teacher can make mistakes. But it's really not a mistake. I did find a couple packages with a few extra pennies. I think that one. But it's the way that I dye the wool that makes the shades so different. It's not an evenly dyed wool. It's whatever comes out of the pot. Okay, so that is your rug. Now, and just think about it being stitched like that. The stitching is really going to be the focal point of this rug, and it is meant to be. That's why it's a teaching rug. But it is beautiful, and you know, these colors remind me of my falling leaves kit that I did a while back. All of these fall shades, they just blend together so good. Now, 10-foot rule. I can't get out and look 10 feet away, but you can, of course. This and this. And also you can tell on camera, but definitely that sticks out, doesn't it? There's a few up here that are like that too. This one. I can't really see down at the bottom here because my tripod is holding my camera there. But you can notice, like, there's some there, and this definitely, and this one. Okay, so that's the time to check what's underneath. Where was this one? Well, that's much better. Same up here. What's underneath? Yeah, pretty good. No, definitely not good. Oh, and I'm messing up my... Yeah, that's better. Oh, yeah. So you go through your rug, and if you find something that is not better, yeah, that's better. This is where you go for your extras. Go in and find an extra and replace it. But you definitely cannot see that, like, I'm like sitting on a chair, and this is my table, and I can't see them unless I get up and go far away. So that's the meaning of the 10-foot rule. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is either stitch the penny, however you choose to do that, with glue, or if you want to baste or something else, you start stitching the penny. You have to make sure that your pennies are nicely done here. Now, with this rug, it's going to be fold in hem, and that's not as difficult and tricky as the one that folds in underneath the pennies. I'm doing video. That was Brother Moth. He came home from town. So, if, let's see, I don't want to move that too much. Yeah, you can see that. If you were doing a fold in hem, binding, edging, the same as I have done with the instructions on this, and the instructions are in the listing, so you want to look for that. What you do is you do not put your last row. You put your tape, your piece of tape, because your penny is going to go here when you fold in. So you fold, you take your tape off. Of course, you do this, and there's your edge. Let's see, I have the wrong side here. I hope, Brother Moth, you don't hear him in this video, because I am not doing this video over. There. You're supposed to go from the right place, is what it is. So with a fold under, there's your line. You just fold it under, and you iron it, and you you then put your last row of pennies on. I had to quiet Brother Moth because I'm not doing this video over. He may say things that may get me kicked off eBay. Not eBay, YouTube. Anyway, you then put your last row of pennies on. And you don't even have to stitch this because your pennies are here and they're covered. With this one, and you certainly can do this rug the same way. With this one, it's a little bit different. We're going to do a stitched edging. So what you need to do is your pennies were here, right? I'll leave that be. So essentially what you're doing is you're going to stitch it, fold it this way. Your pennies are here. These are your pennies on your last row, all right? Oh. I hope he didn't say anything that's going to get me kicked off YouTube. I'm not going to listen to the video either. So your last row is here. So, no, your last row is, your last row is here. Put your 2 pieces of tape on, okay. So this gets folded over, and then it gets folded over again. And that's your edging on the back of your rug. Now, if you want to put a lining, that's the time to cut a piece and put it in. So the pennies were here. We have to fold it. That's the raw edge. This is the back of your rug. And then we have to fold it again. So it's a nice, the two pieces of tape will give you a nice edging like that. Really very nice when it's finished. And when you're doing the corners, they work out better too that way, because they will meet in the center. So you finish your rug and stitch it, and then you would put the tape on, cut it, because tape is, you don't really need the tape, but it's a lot easier to measure with the tape because it's just two of the masking tape that I use. It's just two of that size. And when you're using masking tape, you don't want it the full size, but you want a double hem. So that's why you're doing two. You're doing one piece, and then you're doing a large hem. Now, if you only want it just a little tiny hem, you would only use one piece of tape and then just what I call a handkerchief, like that. But instead of doing it that way, I would put the handkerchief binding like this, just a very tiny one. I don't know if you could see that. And my pennies would be like this. They would be stitched like that, and it would be a little tiny binding. I don't know if you can see that. So there are multiple ways to do the edging on any mat. The reason I suggest this one is because the fabric is so thin. And also, if you don't like the back, you can put your lining on and then fold, and then fold, and your lining is in here, and it makes a really nice finish. You would only use the handkerchief one if you want it to show your back, or you can also do a handkerchief edging with just a very thin width of cotton, like if you have a wool back or something like that. So that's about it. Now, as far as stitching goes, oh, I'm caught up in the tape here. I'm going to take the tape all off because I want that center row on the one that I made a mistake on. I actually cut the base, and I didn't put two pieces of tape on one side of it, so I cut it too small. Okay. This is one of my mats. You probably remember that I was a quilter, and we had a quilting business years ago. And that was one of my mats from 1980. Now, pennies are coming up. Okay. As far as stitching the rug, and I put my cloth down wrong. That's what I did wrong. The longest length of the rug is this way, but the longest length of my fabric is this way. So I should have put the fabric that way. So my fabric is a rectangle, and from here to here is longer than from here to here. So it just shows how much extra fabric I give you with these things. Okay, now as far as stitching the rug, yes, you can put it all together like this. And what did I do? Oh, here it is. And of course, you have to make sure that your pennies are lined up. You can do that with the tape. You can put the tape on before you stitch the last row. Oh, excuse me. And then just bring them out a little bit for the edging. So you have a nice even edging. You don't want, let's see, where am I? Okay, you don't want pennies like sticking out a bit. And if you follow that rule, see, you don't want that. It's too uneven. If you follow the rule, you're going to be fine. It is 1 center, 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2, and your center. So odds and evens this way, all the same this way. You're not going to run into any problems because you're going to keep checking with a ruler or a straight edge or something like that. The tape is for easy cutting, so you don't have to mark your fabric. You just put your tape on, cut your tape. But you do need something to make sure that you can test every row. That's pretty good. So actually, the rug came out really good. You can always squeeze them in like that. But if I were doing this rug and I was going to stitch it, I would not set it out. I know I have enough fabric. Make sure especially you do this row this way. But you still have enough fabric. There's lots left there for your turn. What I would do is, now I'm going to put this down. I would put the center in. Easy to pin, easy to do, glue, whatever you're doing, even a basting stitch, easier than trying to base that whole rug. So make sure it's in the middle. Make sure you have your evens and your odds. Very important. I would do that. And then I would put my next row on and pin it, stitch it. Next row, do the same, except when I pin it, this is really, you can't really tell, it's so small, so you can do a few rows, then do your check. After you pin it, just before you stitch it, just do your check. So I would just do row by row and stitch it. That means this is all stitched until you come to your last row. You can stitch your last row before you cut your fabric, because your fabric is going to be underneath, just a little bit peeking out. Let's see if I can do one here. Let's say this is your last row, and I don't have the pennies, but your pennies are going to be like this. Like that. And they'll be all stitched. So there is no reason, and there is a reason you should do it. This is your last row. Those are stitched. Then you take your mat after it's stitched, Do I have any pins here? I could pin that. I don't have anything but needles, but I am going to pin that and show you, because that's the reason that you can stitch this rug and have everything done before you do the edge. Okay. You see, I can't get up and go get my stick pins, but I think this will work. And there again, I had some glue on some of these, and the needles do not like glue in the center, but that's okay. Pretty big stick pins. Oh, there. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Can you tell I'm not in the mood to do a video today? Not at all. Okay, so we'll pretend those are stitched. Then you fold over and over like this. You have your edging, but you can put your lining in and completely cover your stitches. If you do it the other way, your stitches show on the outside and you can't put a binding on. And I really like this look because it's so finished. You just slip stitch it, and that's it. So I would start, as I said, start with your flower, stitch it. Second row. You really don't need to test it too much here. It's getting into these rows along here that you want to make sure that they're good. Just pin them and stitch them a row as you go. And then once this last row is finished, you can put your tape on to mark. If you don't want to do that, you can mark with a ruler or something. As I say, the purpose of the tape is somewhat to keep this straight, but that would be the fold-in one. So the purpose of the tape is to kind of give you a guideline and for cutting and not ruler measuring. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is you do not need to do these one of three. You can do whatever you want as far as stitching and colors. I'm just giving you suggestions. But when you do the center, it sort of looks like a flower. So you can adjust the size of this center. Now, if you're doing 2 strands like this one, this is just very tiny. Double your thread, use the 2 sides of the needle and make it, and you'll get a big knot like that. The other thing is, maybe you want to switch the colors of the knots to represent a flower. And as we went through this, we had these different colors. Well, you can use this on one and then maybe put that in as the center to represent a flower, because After all, it's called Flowers of Spring, so they're kind of supposed to look like that. Okay, not very many kits. You know that I'm just doing this to use up wool. And once I get finished all of these pennies that I have here, I'm going to start doing some bundles of things. And I'm going to do a journal bundle. I've been watching Kathryn's channel, and with the slow stitching and the journals and the things like that. And I thought it would be fun to put some bundles together with all sorts of things that you can use to make a journal, a stitching journal. Now, if you have any pennies left, isn't that a cute little mug? Set your mug on. And you will have places all on the outside to do that. Okay, well, I hate to go back and listen to this video. I'm not going to. So, thank you if you're still with me. I know it's a long video. This one is going to be on the tariff sale for $58 for a kit. And I don't think, I don't recall doing a full-size rug like this for that price. Even when I was just starting, my full-size rugs were around $78. I used to do candle mats 2 for $48. I remember that. But it's a very good deal. It's all old aged wool, and it's sort of a unique rug because the colors are good. They're fine. Just make sure that you switch your colors. But it's like little pincushion, puffy ones when it's done. Definitely the thread is what makes this, and that's the reason that I made this rug years ago. So thank you very much. They are on my website, and as I say, there's not many left. And you know my rule for shipping, hour a day, right as soon as they sell, and out that week. Fingers crossed. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.